All right, Scotty, I think we shrunk ourselves.
For a whole lot more videos like this one, check out our channel, give us a like, and subscribe.
Alright, Scott, so we got our hands on Metamorphosis on Steam, and this is a pretty cool first-person puzzle platformer, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids-esque style game, man. And truthfully, I actually really enjoyed it. What did you think of this game?
Yeah, my first impressions of this game were really interesting. I haven't seen this concept done quite before, and it reminded me kind of like a Bug's Life, the way some of the environments look. So I was definitely in to try this one, and I was not disappointed. Now, you mentioned puzzling. There is kind of some puzzling to it, but I found it was kind of really easy and somewhat basic because you're limited to a few different ways you can interact with the world. You just have this ability to walk on like a dial or something in place, and then you get like this sticky stuff on your feet that lets you climb up walls. That was really cool. What did you think of how this game looked?
Oh, the look of the game, man, is really cool. The setting that they go for, and you know, this playing from a perspective when you feel so small in this very big world, it is really cool, man. They kind of have some realistic settings where you're traversing through a room or a house, and then you're in another setting where you're in like a supernatural kind of world. So they kind of throw you all over the place, and all in all, it looked pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's definitely got its own style to it, and it was really cool to see like the progression that hits you really quickly on in the game of turning into a bug. Like you shrink very rapidly, and then the world is just a little different, and then the bugs have a weird, crazy voice they speak to you in. That was really cool. I really enjoyed the way the game set up the aesthetic to support it.
Yeah, because basically the game starts you off where you kind of wake up and you're like, oh man, that was a great night last night. I gotta go find my buddy Joseph. And then, you know, you're kind of walking through the house and you're like, man, why does everyone look weird? And then before you know it, you turn into a bug. And then you find out there's a way to be turned back into a human. So the whole premise of the game is you going to the tower, I guess it's called. That's what they call it. And anyways, apparently they have this remedy to become human. And not the whole experience, but part of the experience is leading up towards that.
In addition to the aesthetic of the game being really pleasing, it has this humor about it that's really, really funny. You follow your friend Joseph around, and you're trying to like get his attention at times. You interact with these people in hilarious ways, and a lot of the time you're just you're trying to find documents or something to push along his court case that seems to be kind of a sham. It's all really silly, and I love the way they incorporated it.
Yeah, man, it's kind of got this really funny British sense of humor along, you know. And the nice thing is too, they have some voice acting in it, so you're not, you know, you are reading documents, and when you're talking to bugs, you're sometimes or often reading. Mm-hmm. But there is a kind of a nice balance. It didn't feel overbearing.
Yeah, and it was definitely, we would have noticed a lack of voices, that's for sure. So it was definitely good that they included that.
So man, a great thing too, this game feels really full. There's lots of characters to interact with, and each of them kind of have their own little thing that they say, sometimes giving you hints towards your objective or leading you towards somebody else that'll give you a hint towards the next objective. Even like, man, they even had this kind of funny sense of humor where there's this kind of mafia thing going on. And there's actually like a city of bugs and these little, I don't know what you want to call them, townships or settlements, we'll say, of bugs. And it just really felt like it was real, you know?
Yeah, a really imaginative, fleshed out world. They made you feel like you were there was a purpose to moving through, and there was an actual reason to interact with all these different creatures. It was really great.
So another thing that I thought they did pretty good, but not perfect, man, was the controls in the game. You know, you're often jumping from one area to the next, or sprinting, or climbing up areas on kind of weird angles, and I thought they did a pretty good job. It's, like I said, not perfect, because sometimes when you're upside down, you kind of get a little bit tipsy-turvy and confused, but all in all, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, they really nailed that aspect as well. But if we're gonna wrap this up and put a score on this game, Nate, what did you think of this one?
Well, man, this one struck home with me. I really liked it. The story was hilarious. It really kind of kept me pushing forward to try to become a human again. And, you know, the whole Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style, along with the not too complicated of puzzles. Man, this one gets an 8.5 from me, bro. Loved it.
Nice. Yeah, I really agree with a lot of those. It was a fun game that pulls you in an enticing world, and it makes you feel like a part of it for a little while. I'm up there with an 8. Fun puzzles, awesome world design, and a great premise. We had a great time being a bug.